Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Please be seated.
Hey Bulldogs, I'm Niall Horgan.
And I'm Matt Messina, and welcome to Code Blue News. We're live from the Area 51 site. Good luck to all the race participants.
Picture Day is next Thursday. Make sure to dress appropriately. Parents can go to lifetouch.com in order to order pictures.
For middle schoolers who liked last year's Tuesday Trivia, it's back. Tuesday Trivia will be meeting in the Media Center beginning in October. See Mrs. Golden or stop by the Media Center with any questions.
Speaking of questions, you ever wondered why AP classes are important? This week I caught up with some of our AP teachers and students to talk about what the classes are and why they're important. There are multiple AP classes for juniors and seniors offered by the high school, but very few students actually know what AP is and what it involves.
AP is advanced placement. There are a lot of advanced placement opportunities at school here. I teach AP Literature and Composition for 12th graders.
The workload is usually, it's college level work, so it's meant to measure your ability to take college level work and your college readiness. So it's a pretty heavy workload.
Because AP is a ton of work, obviously, compared to the usual classes, because, you know, it's like basically a college prep course.
Well, the benefit of taking AP is, one, I think it prepares you for college a little bit more so than the other classes, just because, at least I can speak for my class, and I'm sure most of the other ones as well, it just kind of looks and feels a little bit more like what it's going to be in college and puts a little bit more of the responsibility on the students themselves. And also, if you get a good enough score, depending on what your score is and what school you're applying to, it could potentially basically waive you from taking certain classes in college.
Taking the class in general, I mean, it gets you, if you're interested in that subject, gets you more ready for if you're going on to college, obviously. Or if you're just interested in the subject matter, that's pretty good.
And once you get that exam score back, they're scored from 1 to 5. Sometimes colleges will accept certain scores for college credit.
There's a lot of work required to get in. How exactly you get in is basically through teacher recommendation and interest. If you're going to take AP, I would say first and foremost you want to be interested in the subject, otherwise the workload will probably be too much for you. You're going to want to make sure that you have a talent in the subject area as well. You want to be self-motivated, and you want to be a hard worker just in general.
That's all for this week. I'm Niall Horgan with Code Blue News. Back to you in the studio. Next week is Start with Hello Week. This is a nationwide effort to say hello to students and teachers you normally don't say hi to. The goal of this is to make everyone more included and to help end social isolation.
Each day there will be a different theme or activity. Wednesday will be my favorite T-shirt day. So think about what your favorite shirt is and wear it next Wednesday.
Now to Brianna with this week's sports update.
What's good, Holbrook Bulldogs, and welcome back to This Week in Sports. Girls varsity volleyball started the week off strong, winning against Fontbonne Academy in Avon, improving to 4-2 on the season. Cross country hosted Bristol Plymouth Tuesday. Aiden Haney was 5th overall and 1st for Holbrook, followed closely by Nick Chaffee for the boys. As for the girls, Love Roby took 2nd and Ayana White took 4th overall. In the end, both teams suffered a tough loss, but the young squad continues to improve. On Friday last week, girls varsity soccer beat division rival West Bridgewater 3-1 for the first time in 15 years. They also managed to secure 2 wins against Westport and Tri-County. Both final scores were 5-1. Today, football takes the field at home against Atlantis Charter at 5. Tickets are $2 for students and $5 for adults. Any fall athletes get in for free. This has been Brianna Graziano. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Brianna. Attention all freshmen. If you would like to order a class shirt, please stop by Miss S room C132 to pick up an order form. All orders must be in by Wednesday, October 2nd. Cost is $20 and no late orders will be accepted.
Now for a quick announcement from the varsity volleyball team.
Hi, my name is Monica Policar.
I'm Carrie Walker.
And we're the captains of the varsity volleyball team, and we challenge all fall sports to a dance-off.
To watch the rest of the volleyball team's video, make sure to check out the Code Blue YouTube channel. For all sports teams, it's your turn to make sure you submit your videos to the show.
As most of you football fans know, Antonio Brown was was signed to the Patriots last week. Now let's take a look at what happened in the past year that led to him joining the Pats.
In developing it over the course of the season. Brady, end zone, caught by Brown, touchdown, New England. Antonio Brown, the newest Patriot.
NFL wide receiver Antonio Brown is one of the best in the game. After being drafted in 2010, he's put up over 11,000 receiving yards and 74 touchdowns. However, after spending 8 seasons in Pittsburgh, issues and friction between Brown and the team began to take shape. It began when, after a playoff game in 2016, Brown immediately went live on Facebook while in the locker room and was fined $10,000 for it. Then, throughout the next year, Brown clashed with teammates during practice and games, especially with quarterback Ben Roethlisberger. He was traded to the Oakland Raiders following the 2018 season. He wouldn't last long in the team. He caused plenty of distractions, including pestering the NFL multiple times to keep his old helmet that didn't pass new NFL standards, accidentally getting frostbitten feet, and getting into heated arguments with general manager Mike Mayock. The Raiders had enough of these antics and released Brown the next day. Only 5 hours later, the Pats picked him up. We'll see how he fits into the Patriots system. This has been Andrew Rossi with Code Blue News. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Andrew. A reminder that there will be a brief Ecuador meeting after school today in room C208.
Last week, Marcus told us about the new NBA 2K20 game that came out recently. This week, Dominic is here to tell us about the controversy in the game, as well as gambling and other video games.
NBA 2K20 might have set a new bar when it comes to looking like a virtual casino.
They are essentially glorifying gambling. The really on-the-nose, ridiculous gambling type things. Gambling, loot boxes, gambling, 2K gambling, such an obvious promotion for gambling.
Okay, let's back up a little. Toward the end of 2018, a number of different countries took notice of a rising issue in video games. Regulatory bodies began to launch investigations into microtransactions, the small purchases in video games which allow users to spend real money on virtual content. Microtransactions often come in the form of loot boxes, a randomized system in which the player purchases a random set of loot, similar to a pack of trading cards in real life. This system has proven itself to be unhealthily addictive.
Because the prices are just going up for like the most, like with esports games and just everything else. The cost for more weapons, costumes, and everything else, and like DLCs and stuff, just to continue on with the story of the game is just absurd.
I've probably spent more than $600 on video games.
I spent $110 on 2K this year.
I've probably spent $2,000 on video games.
This past August, 2K Sports revealed their trailer for NBA 2K20's My Team, a game mode in which the player, through loot boxes, can build and play with a team of their favorite NBA players over the years. However, there's something off-putting about the trailer. While this is technically a trailer for a basketball video game, you wouldn't know it by watching. The trailer overwhelmingly focuses on its loot box elements, which suspiciously resemble machines one might find in a casino. The presence of microtransactions in this form is probably the most egregiously close to gambling microtransactions have gotten. Suspiciously, the Entertainment Software Rating Board, or the ESRB, determined that NBA 2K20, gambling and all, is appropriate to people of all ages. The game was rated E for everyone by the ESRB due to the board taking a stance that loot boxes are not considered gambling. If loot boxes are allowed to be this obvious in a video game without earning a 17+ rating, what does that mean for the future of video games? Will this encourage game developers in the future to make loot boxes a prevalent part of their games? Just recently, members of Parliament disagreed with the ESRB, concluding that loot boxes can be considered gambling, with Mr. Damian Collins saying, "Loot boxes are particularly lucrative for game companies, but come at high costs, particularly for problem gamblers, while exposing children to potential harm. Loot boxes will continue to thrive if people support games which abuse them, like NBA 2K20. So for right now, stick with 2K19. This is Dominic Costa from Code Blue News. Back to you in the studio."
Thanks, Dominic.
Last week, the middle school and freshman students voted on the next student government positions.
There'll be a student council meeting after school next Tuesday, the 24th.
Now, we will announce the students elected.
All right, for the class of 2026, the student council representatives are Violet Abel, Grace Ferry, Dylan Fox, Lorelei Fraticelli, and Katie Nguyen.
The class of 2025 student council representatives are Jose Daniel and Kayla Remy.
The class of 2024 student council representatives are Jordan Chaffee, Derek Fox, Avery Hardiman, Kata Montez, and Kelvin Mungai.
Class of 2023 student council representatives are Haley Altador, Kaylee Mangola, Brian Moss, Brady O'Connell, and Bianca Brevelin.
Now for the class of 2023 class officers.
The treasurer is Mary Walker.
The class secretary will be Jack Poppinga.
The vice president is Kylie Eschner.
And the president will be Emma Pepe. Congratulations to all students elected.
Hey juniors, don't forget about the brief class meeting today after school in Miss Grant's room at 11:15.
Don't you mean 2:10?
Nope. Today marks the first early release of this year. Students are dismissed at 11:15 instead of 2:10.
Well, that wraps about it for the show. I'm Matt Horgan.
And I'm Matt Messina. See you next Friday.